Been a while since I turned this thing back on. YouTube, um, what's good? My name is Devonte J. You can call me DJ. That's what most people do. Um, Recording today. Just gonna let it flow. I'm gonna be 27 in 2 days, and I'm thinking a lot about my life, as most people do, but in a way where now that I'm at the end of my mid 20s, I've had enough time in my life to understand at least who I am to the degree that it has caused my suffering. I know myself well enough, but not nearly well enough to realize that I want to change. You know, uh, there's a lot that I'm trying to do, and a lot of things are happening in my life right now that are unprecedented. And I'm not sure how I'm going to be at the end of those things. But I'm at this point where I'm ready to be different. I've done a lot of the song and dance of running away from things. And if you're one of those people like me who, for whatever reason in your life, you've formed this habit of running away when things get too much, or running away from your feelings and not being able to feel like you can take that next step because you got all these unresolved issues in the back. I'm here to tell you that it's not gonna help you to keep running. You know, I like to think about in Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang, who's an airbender, and probably if you've seen Avatar, you know what I'm talking about. But essentially, this kid is able to manipulate elements of air, water, earth, and fire. And he's the only one who's able to do this in the world. And he's naturally one who manipulates air. He's very evasive, avoidant, dodges instead of blocks, you know, that kind of thing. And he's learning from the best earthbender that exists in that world at the time. And his biggest lesson was that he needed to stand his ground. And I think a lot of us are very similar in that way. And I know I resonate with a lot of that because I've also been the type to evade as opposed to standing my ground. I was always moving around conflict, or now that I'm thinking back on it, would kind of subconsciously manipulate things in a way that would make me feel safe. I wouldn't want to be in anybody's target range, you know what I mean? Because for a long time I haven't felt very comfortable in myself, and I realized that that is a deeper issue. But that, I think, what is a struggle for a lot of us, is that we don't know ourselves well enough to know what we stand for. And I thought there was a lot of things that I, you know, there are things that I love, you know, such as creativity and art. I love the community of people. I love having friends and nature, and just the beauty of individuality, and how people can be so good at things that I would never want to touch. That we're allowed to create and express ourselves, and that's what makes me feel most alive, is being able to tackle life in a way that is uniquely my own and tailored for me. I'm a server at a restaurant. I recently got this job last year, and it's been a big boon for me to realize where my strengths are. But one of the things I needed to do to improve that was to find my own system so that I can adapt to my own needs, involving my ADHD and my forgetfulness, and having a way to organize things so that I am content and okay with what needs to be done, and I know what to do. And recently, I was able to find out that my skills in service have been recognized, and I got somebody complimenting me. One of my tables complimented me. They liked me so much that they sent it to the corporation. They went out of their way to tell the higher ups that I made that much of a difference in their day. And that meant a lot. And the hard thing is, I think I struggle with understanding and accepting that. I've never been great at receiving compliments, but I want to change that. This is a little bit of a ramble, I guess. And I haven't quite figured out how to make this this YouTube stuff a little bit more cool and aesthetic just yet. But I do know that I want this time of my life, I want to be able to look back on this. I'm going to be joining the 27 Club soon. Not in a literal sense, but I mean that I'm ready for the old me to die. And that sounds morbid. And I don't mean completely flipping everything about myself. There are things that I love. You know, I'm a good friend. I care about people. I'm empathetic. I'm creative. I'm really active, and I'm always seeking to improve. And I genuinely want people to feel seen and accepted around me. But there are things I don't like about myself. Like people pleasing, like insecurity, like procrastination, and not being comfortable with conflict. There's a lot of things that hurt, unintentionally hurt me. And I think just like, maybe unintentional isn't the right word, but I mean, there are a lot of things that are integrated into my personality that serve me as a young person, or as a younger person, that don't serve me anymore. And I'm ready to change that. So if you're somebody who's ready to change that, then I applaud you. And having a lot of this awareness, if you have this kind of awareness as a young person, you know, you're like sub 30, even like something like that, even if you're in your 30s, like our parents and our parents' parents didn't have the information and the terminology and kind of the wherewithal to be able to articulate a lot of this stuff, at least from a emotional, mental, and almost spiritual way. And I think internal change, that's really what's the most important. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And the Bible says that the Lord works from the inside out to change hearts. You got to work with them. And even if you don't believe in God, you got to work from the inside too. There's only so much that you can do on the outside. But if you don't focus on the inside and you don't work on letting things go, even the things that comforted you, even those old ways, like the things that used to make me feel safe, like people pleasing, or just being a more passive person and lacking a sense of security in myself and stability in who I am, because I needed to adapt to other people to make me feel safe. There's a lot of people that deal with that. And if you're watching this, you're definitely not the only one. That's why you clicked on this, right? This video isn't going to be some life-changing thing that you see with, 1 million views or anything like that. I'm just a guy talking to a camera right now because that's what I can do. That's where I'm at right now. But in a sense, I'll always just be a guy talking to a camera. You know, it's important not to put people on pedestals And in taking them and learning to take people off pedestals, I think the first thing you have to do is climb out of the ditch that you put yourself into. So here's to 27 and to many more years to come. This channel is a kind of a mirror of how I'm able to show up for myself, I think. And I definitely am not going to like everything in this video, but if you're watching this, awesome. I'm Devontae J. I'll see ya. Treat yourselves with kindness and love, and God bless.